Sometimes WWE makes the right decision, and fans still hate it. Because the internet is so rampant and large and massive these days, fantasy booking has become more noticeable than ever. And at a certain point, everybody starts to feel like their version of the events that should happen is the correct one. And for every opinion that's made, there are hundreds of people who are going to agree with you. And that makes you feel like you are clearly in the right. And I'm not going to say it gives any sense of entitlement or anything like that, but there is a feeling of being right or correct. And in reality, there's lots of factors that play into a situation. Like, let's take the example of Danhausen's debut. Everyone wanted it to be Chris Jericho. There was no inkling that it was going to be Chris Jericho. Number one, why would Chris Jericho arrive at a goddamn box? And things like that just make no sense. He's a superstar. He's a legend returning. He wouldn't be coming out of a coffin in a box. But people's expectations were just so high because they had fantasy booked themselves into a corner there. And Danhausen was an excellent choice. Like, it subverted expectations, but people's expectations shouldn't have been astronomical to begin with. There was no promise. It was just a subtly hinted at thing, like what's in this box. It wasn't some huge thing that they were building and counting down to. It was just a subtle element at play in the Elimination Chamber storyline. And then because people were just shocked and it wasn't some huge name that was like a Cody Rhodes like level grab, people were like, this isn't what we wanted. Is what you want necessarily always the right thing? On the WWE side of things, they have to deal with contracts, money, timing, availability, all these different factors that play in that are very important variables in these situations. And with Chris Jericho, I don't think people ever fully, we still don't understand the dynamics that were at play between AEW, WWE, and Chris. And that was too complex of a situation, I think, for anyone to looked at from the information that we were given and say that this is a logical outcome that is Chris Jericho. No, you just wanted it to be Chris Jericho. Some fans are just reacting to a version of WWE that doesn't even exist. Wrestling feels different than other shows. It's weekly, it's multiple times a week. There are several different avenues of storytelling that they could partake in. The reactions are live. There are historic precedents that have been set before it, that are long running and deep rooted in people's psychologies and desires for what they want their product to look like. Everyone wants it to be like it was before. Some fans start to feel like some outcomes are negotiable and that if fans want something enough, WWE should change it. But here's the thing. WWE is not as reactive as it used to be. There are more long-term plans, more built-up storylines, more slow burns, more intentional storytelling. I hearken it back to when The Force Awakens came out. In Star Wars, they reset the entire canon of like all the extended universe, the books, the comics, all these different, the video games. Everything was just cut out, and they started from scratch with the cartoons, Clone Wars, Rebels, and the movies. And people were outraged at that, but the idea was that things going forward were going to be intentional and purposeful and thought out and long standing. And that's what happened when Triple H took over. It was exciting at first, yeah, but at a certain point, things are going to settle in and people are going to get dissatisfied, and that's what's happening now. People joke all the time about every little thing that Triple H says. Remember what it was like under Vince. It was constant rewrites. We heard about it all the time. And it was before the show and during the show and all these chaotic things that do not happen in modern day wrestling. Everything is thought out, intentional, it's more structured and less impulsive. When it comes to these big moments, people are chasing emotional highs. They want every return to feel like it felt when Edge came back. They want every championship moment to feel like when Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar at No Way Out. And it's not possible. Those moments had real things, real stakes, real situations, and they were implemented so perfectly into the WWE storyline that it's a once-in-a-lifetime type situation. Your expectations are too high. If you get a moment that sticks out to you and is memorable to you and stays with you, like for me, the 2007 Raw in London where John Cena fought Shawn Michaels, it's just another match between two stars, you know what I mean? Those happen all the time. Think about how many matches you've seen that were good that you have no memory of. You know, it's like some things are just like they're meant to exist and they're meant to tell stories and to build things. They're not always meant to be crazy memories, but that moment stuck out to me because of the exhaustiveness of the match and how at the very end Shawn Michaels snuck in that sweet chin music and then he just fell over John Cena as if that was his last possible gasp of air, and he won. That's a beautiful moment to me, and that's not something that can be recreated. No one can, you can try your best to try to recreate how Shawn Michaels cascaded down over John Cena, and that pin felt so poetic, but it's not going to happen again, and you just gotta accept the things that have happened and be glad they happened. And just be excited potentially for what could happen in the future. New moments, new stars that come up that are learning themselves and learning the business and learning how to be present in the moment and tell stories and execute them well. The thing is, you can't mass produce something that was special. WWE is more controlled now. It's managed. It's shifted from being like reactive to planned. It's like they want less shock moments and more long-term storytelling, and that's a beautiful thing to me. That can withstand time, and a lot of these people are trying to make it to in their 50s in this job, and like it's okay if some of these stories take time. It's okay for there to be slow burns because you can only, we're entering an age where you can only win the championship so many times believably. Back then, it was, they just leaned on John Cena. There's a reason why John Cena won the championship so many times. And there's a reason why you don't see that happening anymore. It's because it's more long-term storytelling. It's built up, delivered, earned stories. And do they always nail it on the head? No. I believe that because people like Triple H and the people underneath him that we may not see day to day are in charge, that they may be holding off this concept of TKO, holding on to things, and you can guarantee that they want certain things at play. They want certain people pushed. They want certain storylines being told. They want to market it. And, it's a blessing and a curse getting that big of a parent company. But I firmly believe that Triple H and Shawn Michaels and those types of people are really going to bat for us and trying to deliver the best possible stories, but without just cheapening it. Not giving a huge moment to somebody just to not deliver, and as I say that, I think of Royce Keys, but I don't necessarily think that Royce Keys was mishandled. I think that it was too close to WrestleMania for them to decide to want, or they just may not have reached a decision on where to send him, because maybe they don't want to screw him up. It's not necessarily that they don't see value in him. They just might see that this might be worth waiting till after WrestleMania so we can tell a long story with him. And we'll see. So, but I can't pretend that they get it perfect all the time, but I think it's worth hearing them out. Fans still expect big swerves. They expect like constant peaks and immediate payoff. And the system now values patience and slow burn and build. And I think we just still haven't adjusted to that, some of us. And when a debut isn't what you imagine it to be, you label it as underwhelming immediately. But look how Danhausen has turned things around. He took it in stride. He didn't let it get to him. He took advantage of the situation and did what they asked him to do, and they delivered on him. And if they continue to deliver on him, that will be an incredible thing. And I look forward to seeing where that goes. The problem isn't that WWE is making bad decisions. It's that we're comparing their decisions to past decisions that can't be replicated. Thanks for watching.